Well, good morning, everyone. It is the last day of February, and it's the longest, shortest month of the year. I always find February to be interminable, even though it's the shortest month of the year. And mainly because where I live right now, the weather generally sucks, and it's cold and wet and dreary, and I just kind of want to hibernate. So I'm glad to see February ending, glad to see that many of us did survive, with exception to my Uncle Bill, who passed away February 9th, which was my late father's birthday. But my Uncle Bill, he was in his 80s and had lived a very long and productive life. So I'm hoping that wherever he is now is better. Now, to get on with the subject of today's video, I have a few things I would like to talk about. The first thing is Fasching. It is now Fasching season in Germany. And last night I was on Facebook and somebody reminded me of an incident that took place in 2019, where I live now, during Fasching season. This person had posted in a group I'm in, you notice that nobody ever seems to moon anyone anymore. And I thought that was really funny because I've actually been the recipient of a public mooning that happened in 2019. And I am going to talk about that. I've also unfortunately run into a few people exposing the other side of themselves, either because I accidentally ran into them when they were relieving themselves, and a lot of times, especially in Germany, it's not entirely private, or they were doing things that they shouldn't be doing publicly. But anyway, about the mooning, back in 2019, my husband and I, in spite of living here for so long, had forgotten that there was going to be a Fasching parade in our city. And we decided to go downtown and have lunch. And when we got there were all these people in costumes, because that's part of Fasching. They have parades and people get drunk, and it's quite a party. And anyway, we went to this Asian restaurant, and we're sitting in there, and there were a bunch of people outside, young people, looked like they were mostly university age. Quite a lot of them were getting really drunk on rotgut, and one of them was standing in the corner relieving himself. Again, like I said, not uncommon over here. And there was this young guy who was wearing a costume that was like a cow costume. It had udders on it. And he and his buddy were basically standing there milking each other. And then one of them got up on this table that was out front. It was bolted to the ground, and pulled down his pants and mooned the entire restaurant. And I happened to be sitting right by the window, so I got a full-on look at this. And naturally, I took photos. And so did the woman sitting behind me, a German woman. And we were laughing our heads off at this because it was so funny. But what was even funnier was her husband looked really disgusted and disapproving in that way that Germans have mastered so well. As I mentioned, it's not the first time. There was another incident that I thought of earlier that happened when I was in college, and this was the other side of the body. I was sitting on a bus on my way home from New York City with my choir. I was in a choir in college, and we did a tour during spring break. We'd go to different high schools to recruit people and then go see a Broadway show. And I'm sitting on this bus. It was my last tour. I look out the window. Everybody's half asleep because it was really tiring. Um, and there was this guy driving a bright yellow car alongside the bus. And he kind of looked at me. I was probably the only person on the bus looking out the window because people were sleeping. And I looked away, and then I looked back again, and he was back. And then I looked away again, and then I looked back. And this time I noticed that there was something pink flopping around. And the guy was basically enjoying himself while driving down Interstate 95. And I went, oh my God! And everybody woke up and looked out the window. And that time I did not get photos, but I did write a paper about it in my nonfiction writing class. And I drew a picture. And I got an A. So, anyway. There was another incident that happened in Tübingen, which is a college town here, near where we used to live. And it was 2018, beautiful sunny day, and my husband and I were at a beer garden. And in the Neckar River, which runs through Tübingen, they have punting, which are the boats. People get on in their boats and they go up and down the river, and they use like poles to propel themselves. Well, there was this guy, and I happened to be videoing. I didn't know he was going to do this, but this guy stands up on his boat in his swimming trunks, and he's going to jump in the river. Well, his buddy reaches over and just yanks down his swimming trunks. And I got a video of that. It was great, actually. So I have a long history of being exposed to southern exposure. Oh, look, the sun is coming out. Anyway, the next thing I would like to talk about, though, I'm going to change subjects, is Lynda Carter. Lynda Carter is on Facebook. She's very funny and witty. I have been a fan of hers since the 70s because I'm a child of the 70s and 80s. And I loved watching her on Wonder Woman. Now, I did not see the earliest episodes when they aired because I was too young and I lived in England at that time. But when we moved back to the U.S., I remember on Friday nights I would get so excited to watch Wonder Woman in the modern version where she had the gold bracelets instead of the silver ones. And I liked it because of the music, and I thought she was beautiful, but, obviously I was a little girl and I just thought she was amazing. I even had Wonder Woman underoos, probably the least comfortable underwear I've ever worn. Well, it may be no surprise that she has many boomer men who follow her on social media. And yesterday, she posted about calling representatives regarding health care. And her husband passed away. She's still very devoted to him. I've seen her post memorials to him, and they had 2 very lovely children. And unfortunately, many people just see her as a sex object, even though she's in her 70s now. And she has a fine mind and a sharp intellect, sharp wit. Well, I was appalled by the comments. They were just like everything from, read the bill, sweetie, or where's the evidence of fraud, or why don't you stick to acting? This is how you lose fans. It's also how you gain fans, right? And it's appalling to me. It's like, where do these people get the idea that they need to tell Lynda Carter what to do? This is Wonder Woman, okay? She can do what she wants to. It's her page. It's her platform. No one is forcing you to follow her. And we all know why you follow her. It's not because you think she's smart and funny, which she is. You just want her to shut up and be pretty for you. You know? It's appalling. It's like, why? The women in these men's lives have failed them because they think of women as just objects. And Linda Carter is, okay, I'm going to be honest. I was not really a big fan of her acting. When I saw her in, movies of the week or whatever, and I don't think she is a great actress. I think she's very beautiful. And I did love her in Wonder Woman, but as an adult, watching Wonder Woman it was pretty bad. The acting is bad. But I do think she's very engaging and funny and intelligent, witty. I like watching her on talk shows, of all things. And I like to see her posts. And you get these people that, okay, you don't agree with her politics. Do you really need to tell her what she should or shouldn't be posting on her page? Do you like it when people do that to you? If you follow my channel, you already know how I feel about it. Anyway, I'm sure that she can handle it. She is Wonder Woman after all. But, yeah, no, she doesn't need your help, guys. And she can follow whatever politics she wants, just like you can. So that's about all I got to say. Funny, when I made the first incarnation of this video, it was really depressing and cold outside, but now we have sunshine. So I guess I will wrap this up and get on with the day so I can walk my dogs. And I hope you have a nice last day of February. And don't buy anything from billionaires today. See you next time. Thank you for listening, especially if you made it to the end.